E3 2019 was good for role-playing games. Many RPGs were present this year at the show. Some that we already know a lot about, some that we know nothing about, and some that we didn't hear from for a long time. It makes me happy when I see so many potentially great RPGs. So let's go through most notable ones. I won't talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake in this video because I did special video for that game, so you can check it out if you are interested in my opinion about it. Let's start by talking about the heaviest hitter in RPG genre at the moment, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. No new gameplay shown to the public, but we know now that Keanu Reeves is going to play a character named Silverhand. Most people love Reeves because he's one likable down-to-earth bastard, so having him representing character in the game is good PR and good popularity move. Not that Cyberpunk needs more exposure, but it is still a cool thing. Considering that there was nothing new shown gameplay-wise, I can't really add anything besides from what I've seen from only gameplay presentation available so far, some time ago. To me, Cyberpunk looks amazing. Gunplay looks okay, graphics are amazing, characters are distinguishable and very detailed, world looks interesting. Would love to see more regarding character progression, but that will come as well soon enough, I hope. Only negative thing I can say about the game is that there is too much swearing. This is just subjective observation that won't affect my experience whatsoever, but if they would tone it down a bit, I would like it better. Overall, big thumbs up from me for everything that I've seen so far from Cyberpunk. Can't wait to see more. Baldurs Gate 3 is up there with Cyberpunk when it comes to big RPGs. We don't know anything yet except that Larian, studio behind masterpiece series Divinity Original Sin, is the developer. In my opinion, only them, Obsidian and In Exile are capable of making new Baldur's Gate, so the series is in good hands. I am not Baldur's Gate fan, as I never even finished the second one due to overly complex Dungeons & Dragons systems in place that I didn't understand back then, but I will give the second one another go now that I'm more familiar with Dungeons & Dragons. What makes me extremely happy is that classic RPGs are back and Baldur's Gate 3 is at the forefront. When we are at the topic of classical RPGs, that brings me to my most anticipated game, which is Wasteland 3. Fallout 1 and 2 are my favorite RPGs, and Wasteland 2 was awesome for the most part. I was very happy when Wasteland 3 got announced 3 years ago, but no news or new footage at all since then. I'm glad that In Exile finally gave us something new to talk about at this year's E3. From that small snippet of combat, it seems that it's going to be similar to Wasteland 2. I'm hoping, however, combat will be deeper than the second one because it was the weakest part of the game, but still fun for some reason that is hard to explain. Close-up scenes of NPCs that we are communicating with look amazing and will add another layer to, I'm sure, very interesting characters representing different factions. Pay attention to this game, because if they can improve combat and keep same amazing atmosphere, story, factions and quests, then we will have perfect classical RPG to play the shit out of. So we have covered what Larian is doing, what In Exile is doing, and now let's get to Obsidian and their upcoming game called Outer Worlds. Honestly, Outer Worlds is one of the games that disappointed me. Not the RPG elements that will be top notch, I'm sure, but from technical standpoint. Seeing gameplay presentation, I spotted same problems that Fallout New Vegas had engine-wise. Movement looks very clunky and unnatural, and graphically game doesn't have anything going for it. Another worry is what I've heard from person that had seen the game privately at E3, that it is a bloody mess. Technically, it's all over the place. We might have another Fallout New Vegas type disastrous launch, considering that game will be out in 3 or 4 months if something doesn't change drastically. I'm hoping they can fix most of the issues because I would like for a change playable game from Obsidian at launch. Last big name is Elden Ring, but nothing was shown gameplay-wise, so can't really comment on it. To me, Sekiro is amazing, so I'm interested how this one will look like. George Martin is going to bring his vision into the world of Elden Ring, and that is great news. Supposedly game will focus more on RPG elements, and Martin can make those quite good. Next to these very popular RPGs, we have Oninaki from Square that is going to be released in August 2019. It's an action RPG that looks promising. Then we have Tales of Arise. I'm not really familiar with Tales series besides Tales of Vesperia that I only played for a bit, but I hope I will have enough time to properly play and cover it this time. Trials of Mana is another Square game that is remake of 1995 game exclusively released in Japan. Note that this is remake, not just remaster. There was gameplay presentation and while the game looks good, I'm worried about linearity of it all. We'll see. New gameplay was shown for Code Vein as well. The more I see, less interested I am in it. World looks very linear and at times you can't even circle around the enemy because everything is so narrow. While combat looks okay, we'll see how long can it keep this game interesting if World is going to be hallway simulator. One thing that blew me away though is enemy design. Enemies look absolutely amazing in Code Vein. I do not own Nintendo console, so not paying attention to what comes out on it. That is why there are no Nintendo exclusives on this list. Think I've covered most games, but if I did overlook some, do post in comments. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon.